MacVoices is supported by ExpressVPN. Secure your surfing at expressvpn.com/MacVoices. Welcome back to MacVoices. This is the talk of the Apple community, and I'm Chuck Joyner. Folks, I'm going to be packing my bags pretty soon to head out to NAB in Las Vegas, the National Association of Broadcasters show, because I love to go to this show. I meet so many interesting people. I'm able to take some classes and improve my chops a little bit and see some old friends as well. And that's why we're here today, because we have an old friend, Mr. Michael Horton, who is here to tell us about it's sort of a new event, but it's not exactly a new event. It's just sort of changed its shape. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah, I would think, that's a good way to describe it. It's changed its shape. Faster Together is the name of the event, and it's going to be held at the Rio Hotel on Tuesday, April 9, and it is produced by LumaForge, and LumaForge has produced the Faster Together events for the last 2 years, I believe, down on the show floor at NAB in the South Hall. And they had like 40 presentations in a small room, and one of the meeting rooms was off rooms. Well, this year they decided to have a really big event, and we're going to do it at the Rio Hotel, like I said. And it's essentially, since we're not doing the Super Meet anymore, it's going to take over the Tuesday night where the Super Meet used to be, and they're going to be doing their own spin on this thing. And I'm just glad to be a part of it, because it is the lineup is, if you go to Faster Together, is superb. It's spectacular. It's all these great people that first of all I want to meet and I want to see what they have to say, and that's always a great thing when you're a host of something and then you're fans of everybody you're bringing on stage. And so I couldn't be happier to be doing this event.
So let's take it sort of from the ground up. So as we said,
let's talk about this thing.
Yeah, it changed over from being part of the show floor to its own separate event. What's the focus of Faster Together? What's the focus of this event? I mean, last year there were a lot of classes and a lot of instruction. Is that what it's going to be? Just more on a stage setting?
Even last year when they were doing it, it wasn't so much classes and instruction. It was more presentations and case studies on various things. It was not necessarily about product, but it was about how to do something. It was how to do this or how to do that, and how to achieve this, from everything from how to get work to how to techniques in a particular NLE or something like that. Well, the big stage this year is going to be case studies. It's going to be community. It's going to be various things like that. I'm looking at the speaker list right now. Unfortunately, we have a lot of names here that I can give you up, but I don't know exactly what they're going to be doing. All I know is these people represent some extremely talented backgrounds, from color to editing to Michael Cioni is going to be doing a sort of a state of the union of the digital age and where we're going. We have YouTubers, we have superstars there. Jonathan Morrison and iJustine, those two people alone represent 500 million subscribers. I mean, they're huge. What's going on out there is not just movies. It is YouTube and it's communities, and again, this whole thing is starting because people need a place to connect and to commune with other like-minded people. So you're not only going to learn something, just like you did at the Super Meets, you're going to be able to meet the people that you've admired for a long, long time, and they're going to be there. And that's in that one location. So this is one of those kind of events that you just don't want to miss out if you're a content creator, which I know you are. And you get to go there, you get to meet those people, you get to talk to them, you get to interview them, and you get to learn from them, you get to watch the presentations on stage. You come home a smarter person.
Yeah. Well, first of all, we can all use that. There's no question about
Right.
that.
So I know I come home a smarter person.
But the creative part, there's so many things that are changing. Everything is changing around you. There are more people finding more ways to get their message out, whatever their message happens to be, or to a different way to tell their story, whatever that story is. And that's one reason I love coming, because no matter what aspect of it, whether I'm talking to somebody on the show floor, or whether I'm sitting in one of the seminars or one of the classes, or going to this event, you're going to be surrounded by that kind of thing, and you get ideas of your own and start to mash them up and hopefully bring them home and do something new and unique.
Yeah, I mean, have you ever seen a presentation or just walked in and seen somebody blow glass or paint a painting, watching somebody sculpt, somebody create something out of nothing? That's what this particular show is going to be about. You're going to be watching people create. And you really learn something while you watch people create. It's not talk about creation, but you're going to see people create. And I think that's certainly what drew me to this whole event when Sam Messman came to me. And early in January, when we sent out a notice to all of our sponsors that we weren't going to do the super meet anymore, we immediately got a phone call from Sam, and he had me over, and we talked about what I've always wanted to do. And going back to the early days of the super meet, we wanted to bring up people who would share their techniques and tips for creation. And those are the kinds of stories that we wanted to see and hear and watch. And I jumped on board, and I wanted to be a part of it. So here I am as the host, and I get to meet these guys and girls, and I get to be a part of this, and I just couldn't be more excited.
ExpressVPN is supporting today's MacVoices. If you surf the web when you're away from home, on your iPhone, iPad, or Mac, you need the protection and security ExpressVPN provides. With ExpressVPN, your location and identity are masked so that your data is anonymized. That means you can browse your favorite websites at the coffee shop, in a hotel room, or anywhere else you happen to be without worrying that you're being tracked and analyzed and having your data obtained by the bad guys who want it for their own nefarious purposes, and the not quite as bad guys like marketers, social media sites, even ISPs who want your data to sell. Isn't your data and privacy worth $7 a month? Visit expressvpn.com/MacVoices to sign up and get 3 months free when you sign up for a 1-year package. That's expressvpn.com/MacVoices for the iPad, iPhone, and Mac. Take back your privacy today. Thanks to ExpressVPN for their support of MacVoices. So we talked about who's going to be on stage and what they're going to be doing. Who are the organizers of this? You're the host, but who's sort of...
Yeah, the organizers are LumaForge, which is a storage company. They make a server called the Jellyfish. But let me be really clear here. This is not a show about storage. If it was, I wouldn't be doing it. And these are really great guys, and I've known them for a long, long time. They make a good product, but they are just producing this event. And but there is no presentations on storage because, to be honest with you, storage is really, really boring. So you just don't want to do it. Is. It doesn't mean that they make a good product. Don't get me wrong. I mean, there's lots of good products and good hard drives and things like that, and good servers and sharing systems. But let's face it, you don't want to get somebody up there and watch them sell you something. You can get that on the show floor. You don't want to go all over the way to the Rio and watch a presentation on what's new in this storage system, or what's new in this product. And that's not going to be any of that. But anyway, LumaForge has got some money, and they're getting money from other sponsors, and we're putting together a show. And it's going to be kind of similar to the old Super Meets, in that it'll have a vendor expo. They'll have a bunch of sponsors out in the area where you were always running around talking to everybody. And then we'll have our theater with these presentations. So it's it's going to be very similar in that respect, but the presentations are not going to be commercial. They're going to be creative.
Well, some of the people you just mentioned, I mean, you're right. They're not going to be hardware or software based. It's going to be a lot more about how they do what they do.
Yeah, there isn't you know what? There isn't one company on this. There isn't. It's not that we wouldn't want to put something like that. We would put a product up there if it was going to be, brand new and blow everybody's mind, kind of things like that. But this year, being the first year, there isn't any new product that's going to be earth shattering and is going to change your life. But the people up there are going to be earth shattering and going to change your life. And you're not going to see them on the show floor. You're going to see them only at the Rio. And again, just like Super Meets, if you are not interested in what they have to say, you just get up out of your seat and go back into the vendor area, connect with the people that you want to connect with, and meet and greet and network, and which is always really hard for people to do, but it's really easy for you to do because you got that camera and that microphone. And which is actually a good idea. People should bring cameras and microphones, and then they should interview each other.
It's surprising.
And that's a good way to open a conversation.
Yeah,
although it makes you really intimidated. It's like,
and you know what?
Where are you from?
Yeah, Mike. It's funny. You would think that this would be the last group of people that would be intimidated by that kind of thing.
Well, nobody likes that. It's really hard.
I guess. I mean, but inevitably, I'll walk up to a booth and say, "Would you like to do an interview or talk about your product?" And they always say, "Sure, he'll do it over here." That guy will do it over. It always amazes me.
No, it's there's a camera looking at me right now, and that's still kind of intimidating. So, what do I do with my hands?
Well, it's the camera that's intimidating. It's not me, I hope, because if you're intimidated by me, man, we're in trouble. Another focus I want to make sure we understand here that this is on the creative process. So this is not. You said it's not about the companies or the hardware, but it's also not focused on any particular NLE.
No, not. LumaForge is very well known for its association with Final Cut Pro 10, and of course its Jellyfish, which it sells, is not just for Final Cut; it's for all the platforms. Otherwise, they go out of business. But they just happen to be known for their association with Final Cut, and that's their NLE of choice. But they sell and they support other platforms, and of course, other platforms will be represented there. Adobe will be there. We tried really hard to get Avid there, but they're so busy with that big, huge Avid Connect show they can never get the bodies over there to man the table. But they would be there in a heartbeat. So it's not just Final Cut, or it's not just Apple. And it is about all of us and all of what we do. So, again, if you don't use Final Cut, you'll still get a heck of a lot out of this show. And you use Resolve. We got one whole presentation that's on this movie, which I cannot wait to see. It's coming out in this documentary coming out in May called "The River and the Wall," and it's all about Trump's wall on the Rio Grande down there. And it's more of taking everybody on a trip down there to show them what that part of the country looks like. And that's going to be that was edited on Resolve. I think it was colored on Resolve, and so the filmmakers are going to be talking about that. And so we're going to touch on everything. Everything will be touched on. But the most important reason to go to these kinds of events, like I've said to you over the years when we talked about the Super Meets, is to connect with people. And you can't do that even with this thing, this technology that we have, this Zoom thing. By the way, is this Zoom thing better than Skype? This
yes.
is better.
Yeah. Light years. Sorry.
It is.
My bias is showing, but yes, Zoom has been light years more stable than Skype.
Yeah, well, we've always had a little bit of a problem with Skype, and I got to look into this Zoom thing. But anyway, so again, it's not necessarily the presentations on the stage that should make you come. It's it's the networking and the connection that you can get with people that you've never met before. And there's hopefully going to be a whole bunch of people there for you to meet. And there'll be free food, which will go really, really fast.
Free food always.
Yes.
I was delighted to hear about this because I confess I had not known that this particular event was going on. I knew about a couple of the other events that were happening.
Yeah, it's tough to get the word out because it is confusing to a lot of people. What happened to the super meet? Is this taking over the super meet? It's so we're trying to get the message out as best we can, and with as slowly as we can, because it's as soon as people hear about it, then they'll spread the word, and they'll know that they'll have a place to go on a Tuesday night. And that place to go is the Faster Together event, and I think they'll get a lot out of it. I hope they do. I think they will. All I know is these people are working really hard, and they got a great lineup, and it's something I'm proud to be a part of.
Well, I'm divided. I mean, I'm a sucker for community, and the community that I found at NAB when I first started going was very welcoming. It didn't matter that I was producing a little video show podcast kind of thing. Everybody is always happy to hear about your projects. How did you get into it? What equipment do you use? What's your NLE? How do you approach things? And I was surprised at how many people were interested and happy to share tips, tricks, ideas, what their projects were. And so this is just a continuation.
Oh yeah, it's when you ask somebody for help on something, especially even the stranger, that person that that you've met online, or that name that you've seen online, if you go up and ask that person for help, they are delighted to help you because it means something to them. It makes them feel good to help. It makes them feel special, let's face it. I mean, anybody that asks you, could you help me with this? And if you're able to help them, that makes you feel good. And we all want to do that. We all want to help each other. You got to have the courage to ask. And that's why you go to these events. And I mean, I can't, like I told you, I've said this before, I can't tell you how many times people have met people that they've ended up working with later on or working for. They've gotten jobs. I mean, that's where networking is so important. It's who you know. And it's always who you know.
Well, and you make those connections. I've come home. I try to connect with people on LinkedIn so I can keep up with what they're doing.
But I wish I knew how to. I don't even know how to work it. LinkedIn is just too weird.
Yeah,
I don't get it. I never will get it.
Well, whatever method you use, whether you follow them on Twitter or friend them on Facebook or just stay in touch by email, something. But the idea that, and then you see them again for another year and maybe another year or at a different event, and those friendships develop, and pretty soon you have this a huge Rolodex, if you will, of people you can call about things, or people that and you're in their Rolodex too, so they may be calling you for help, or like you say, work or whatever. So yeah, it's but the only way to
it's on my to-do list to get to know how to use LinkedIn, because I got like 6 gazillion friends or followers or whatever the heck you call them over there, and I still don't get it. The only thing I post over there is my local Lassie Pug meetings, and I need to post this because I'm part of this marketing team. So I need to post this so give people at least all my friends who don't know what happened to the super meet. I'll start posting this stuff, so hopefully they'll show up on Tuesday night.
Sure. So what the question we always have to ask, what kind of price is there to attend this?
Oh, it's well, even with a code right now, with Jellyfish 2019, that's JELLY Fish 2019, all one word. It's only $10. Oh no, yeah, $10. It's $15 general admission, $10 for everybody else, including students, teachers, everybody. It's $10. And if you wait till the last minute and you get at the door, then it's $20. So you don't want to do that. You want to do it online, and you want to do that kind of soon. So the reason we always say please do it soon is just because it helps you plan. You just want to know how much food you're going to need and all that kind of stuff. How many people will be there? How many chairs to set up? We usually don't know how many chairs to set up until the morning of. And so even though you'll sell a bunch of tickets that day, it really helps us. So if you are interested in going to this event, do it now, so at least that we know that you're going to be there. So yeah, it's the best deal in town. It's $10 for God's sake, and you're going to see amazing people doing amazing things and creating amazing stuff. And hopefully you'll be inspired when you go home, because that's what we always want. We always want you to be inspired. And the most important thing, bring everybody together. Number two, inspire.
Well,
by the way, there's a raffle.
there's a raffle. Okay, let's hear about the raffle.
There's a raffle, Chuck.
Yeah. Why am I not?
There's a big raffle. If you go to the fastertogether.com site, you just click on raffle. You'll see the current prizes. There'll be more and more coming in every day. Right now, it's worth about $45,000 worth of stuff, and we expect a lot more. And it's going to be just like I used to do. It's going to be that world famous raffle. It's going to be crazy, nutty, loony, and I'm always looking forward to it, because I love the people. I love their enthusiasm. I love the time we have each other when I get to give out a lot of really cool prizes, and there's going to be a lot of really cool prizes. So many generous companies out there. Really, it's awesome.
Yeah. So let's see, $10 with the code Jellyfish 2019. Otherwise, it's $15. It's faster.
And by the way, that drives me nuts, because all those Vegas hotels in the Strip now charge for parking. Well, Rio, it's free parking. So if you're coming from California in your car, you can park at the Rio Hotel for free, where all those Strip hotels that you might be staying in are going to charge you to park there. And so that's another good reason to stay at the Rio. So you can park there for free and then just Uber over to the convention center or something like that. And so, yeah, and it's one of the reasons we like the Rio so much. It's away from everything, where people can feel like they're just away from that whole convention center kind of thing. Get over to the Rio, which is not that hard to do, and you got free parking. So that's a good deal, and it's only $10. I mean, come on, that's the best deal in town.
And the Rio is pretty affordable, and I've stayed at the Rio a number of times. You
get this big, huge room with a couch.
Yeah, it's super nice. So
yeah.
Why not? So Faster Together is the event, and
Faster Together,
NAB Tuesday night. Join us.
fastertogether.com. And if you've ever wanted to meet Chuck, he's going to be there. And he's going to be out there in the vendor area, and he'll have his monopod. That's what it is, right? A monopod?
No, I switched to a tripod. I gave up on the monopod.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah, well, people kept bumping into it, and then it looked like an earthquake, going back and forth.
So you're carrying around a heavyweight tripod?
No, it's pretty lightweight.
Oh, just pretty lightweight? Okay.
Yeah. But
are you using what camera are you using?
I use an iPad Pro as the camera.
Oh, you are going to use an iPad Pro?
Yep. And use Filmic Pro as the video software, and does a great job. And a couple little portable lights and wireless mic, and gives me a pretty good yield. And it's very portable and very, very easy to tote around the show floor, and obviously around the Faster Together area too.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to it, and it really is, Chuck. It's going to be a good show, and I'm just proud to be a part of it.
Will you be signing autographs?
Hey, you know what? I just did that for the first time ever in my whole life yesterday, and I did. I used to do these cartoons called the Transformers back in the '80s, and they had a Transformers convention here, which listen, I didn't know anything about it. Anyway, they found me on Facebook and they asked me if I would come with all the other actors who have been doing this stuff for like years. So I went there and met all the fans and spent 2 days signing autographs. It was so cool. It was just the best. It was the best time. It was so much fun.
I don't know where you posted that, but I saw that, and it's like, I didn't know you did Transformers. I had no idea.
Yeah, I did a lot of cartoons back in the 80s, and I had no idea that they had all these conferences, these conventions. Well, I know they had like Star Trek conventions, and I did 2 Star Trek movies, and a television show, so I'm going to look into that. And do one of those Star Trek convention things, or signing autographs and stuff like that, because the fans are so appreciative. And it means so. These kind of things meant so much to them during their childhood that it almost brings a tear to my eye in some of the instances when I met some of these people, because it was so meaningful to them, and it gave their life back then, and some of these people, purpose when they come from like disadvantaged homes or in other situations where that particular show was their escape. And you go, and back then, all we were doing was it was just a gig, and we just do it and go home. But then 35 years later, we come up, people come up to us and give us their stories of what it meant to them. And I go, this is fun. So I want to do this again.
Yeah, you got to come to the Star Trek convention in Vegas. And
have you ever done that? Have you ever been there?
Oh yeah, I go. I've gone now 5 or 6 years.
Really?
And it's a blast.
I got to meet the right people to get me over there, and I met a lot of people yesterday for the who do these kinds of conventions. This stuff's going all over the world, all over the country, almost every month. It's just crazy. Constantly. And I had no idea. It's a way to make a few dollars, and more importantly, you meet a bunch of really cool people. So it's just, yeah. So yeah, we sort of. What were we talking about? Oh yeah, Faster Together.
Yeah, well, and so Mike will be signing Transformers autographs and Star Trek.
Where am I transform? Maybe I'll set up a table.
Yeah, set up a table. Why not?
We'll get most Transformers fans.
Yeah. Yeah, I like it. We'll put a whole new spin on NAB.
You can come and interview me.
Okay. I will. I would. Listen, I would love to do that, because this was a part.
I'm going to have to ask the Lumerforce guys. You got any more room for table?
Yeah, I had no idea.
I can make a standing banner sign.
Yeah,
like Horton as Chip Chase and Transformers.
I love it.
Okay.
Mike, I will see you in Vegas.
Yes,
and
looking forward to it.
If there's more news between now and then, please let me know and come back, because we want to make sure.
Yeah, just remember fastertogether.com and Jellyfish 2019 is the code. Save you $5. All right.
Great. And folks,
thanks so much, Chuck.
Thank you for the time. Folks, I'm Chuck Joyner. This is Mac Voices. If you're coming to NAB, please check out Faster Together. I'll be there. Mike will be there. So you have 2 friends automatically right away, just as you walk in the door.
Exactly.
Until the next time, and as always, thanks for watching. Visit MacVoices.com for show notes and to connect with Chuck on social media. Get involved in our Mac Voices Facebook group, and get more out of your Apple tech with Mac Voices magazine, free on Flipboard. And if you find value in it all, consider supporting us at patreon.com/MacVoices and join these folks who help keep Mac Voices coming to you. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media at backbeatmedia.com. Bandwidth provided by CashFly at cashfly.com.